Finally get to talk about it, everybody. Guardians of the Galaxy. Oh man, I've been watching the MCU in timeline order. I'm now on this one finally. I've been sitting on the video forever. Okay, let's get into it. All right, so Guardians of the Galaxy. This movie has pretty much changed the game for Marvel movies in general. Before it, they didn't have the same kind of humor, the same kind of heart. And after it, they still kind of don't. They still don't quite live up to James Gunn's magnificence. The man knows how to make a movie. Let's just say it right now. He knows how to make a film. Not only that, the cast is super solid. Chris Pratt, you got Zoe Saldana, you got Dave Bautista, and of course, you got Bradley Cooper as Rocket. Oh, and Vin Diesel. I don't know if I forgot Vin Diesel, but I might have. It's because he's got like one line in the movie. That part bothers me. Like it's funny, but that man's made an ass ton of money off of I Am Groot. Not even in his voice pitch anymore. Mind you, I haven't seen Guardians of the Galaxy 3 yet. It's kind of funny. I've heard of Chris Pratt before this movie, but I don't think I've really seen him until this movie, if that makes sense. Like I know he was in, what was it, The Office or Parks and Recs. I know he's super funny in that. He's actually a Lake Stevens native. I live up in Lake Stevens, Washington. I'm not a native, but my fiance is. You kind of hear stories about him off and on. He's like this good things fairy that kind of just does all these little good things for the area. It's actually pretty cool. I heard he donated a special needs bus for up here in Lake Stevens. We just went to a creative space and he was actually advertising for them, just trying to say, it's a good place for people to go and learn and be about and be themselves. Amongst many other things, I'm sure, he's a good guy and he's a funny guy. It's kind of funny in this movie. It kind of seems like he was channeling himself, really, just because he's Star-Lord. He's a good, funny guy. You know what I mean? He's kind of a child at heart, really. He didn't really grow up. He just kind of learned what it is to be a man out in space. I mean, honestly, he's kind of living the dream, right? I don't know about all you, but I love space kind of stories, space movies, especially if it's like a fun cowboy bebop, rock and roll, just kind of a space. And that's what this is, that's what this guy is. He's our dream, you kind of live through him. And Chris Pratt does a great job of being the avatar of that. Drax, Dave Bautista. I just gotta say, if y'all have seen any of my other movie reviews or movie thoughts or anything like that, I love Dave Bautista. He's my favorite wrestler turned actor of all time. Yes, more than The Rock. Dave Bautista is an actor. He's a thespian. This big man, he takes his acting seriously. And I love him for it. He's super cool. Not only that, the guy has a collection of old school lunch boxes. I just think that's super hip. That's super cool. And then you have Zoe Saldana. She's very I see her, then I don't. I think the first movie I saw her in, Colombiana. I don't know if you guys have seen that, but she plays kind of like this hit woman, kind of out for revenge. Really good film. It put her on the map for me for sure. Then I see her in Avatar, which Avatar is such a big hit. And then you see her in this. I like that she's such a physical actress. You know what I mean? I like that they chose her for this role just because she's such an ass kicker. And in this movie, she gets to kick a lot of ass, but still have humor with it. It's just a great combination. And then you have Bradley Cooper as Rocket Raccoon. I forget that's Bradley Cooper every time. Bradley Cooper, he's kind of funny. He's such a handsome man, he's funny too, but it's just kind of a interesting thing that he's just this voice of a raccoon, But he does such a fantastic job. I really feel like Rocket Raccoon's character in this movie really drives the whole movie home. Some parts of this movie, it kind of gets a little iffy for me at times, but Bradley Cooper's character, he always just kind of reels me back. There's something about his feistiness. There's something about the humor. There's something about the insanity of Just hearing him cuss and threaten and make terrible practical jokes, wanting people's legs and eyes. It's perfect. It's perfect. His character is just a perfect glue for everything else in the film. One thing I didn't like was just how stupid Drax was. What do I mean? That scene where he calls Ronan the Destroyer in on nowhere to fight him because was ludicrous, right? It was so crazy. I forgot about that scene until I watched that movie again. How did Ronan know they were at nowhere? He called them. What made it worse was Ronan just kicked the crap out of him, you know? Like, it was funny, it's cool, I don't know. But at the same time, I don't know. Drax is really kick-ass in this movie, but I just kind of wanted more. And I can't forget Yondu. Michael Rooker, he is Star-Lord's daddy, you know what I mean? Like, I like his soft spot for him. Like, he knows Peter Quill's like putting the wool over his eyes. He knows he's cheating him out of something, you know? But he doesn't kill him. You know why he doesn't kill him? Because he loves that guy. Like, he's his son. That's why. They all make a great team, you know? I think that's one of the big things that makes this movie work, is they all make a great team. They all are, as Star-Lord puts it, they all are losers. But they have so much fun, you know? They just do what they want. Side note, I don't know if y'all have played the Guardians of the Galaxy game, but it's a lot of fun, and it's not like the movie, but it really gives you that feeling of that sci-fi fantasy, that space adventure kind of a fantasy. So check it out. This is also the movie with the fourth Infinity Stone, if you watch it in timeline order, the Power Stone. There's something about this stone, about the effect of it, that I think is more impactful in this film than it was with the other ones. I think it's the fact that you don't really see how the stone affects you as well as it shows in this film. They do show that in Thor Dark World with the Reality Stone and Jane Foster, but this one, it shows them people just getting ripped apart. You know what I mean? It shows just gigantic explosions from it. And it's so beautifully purple. It just jumps out of the screen, man. It feels powerful. I didn't feel that way necessarily with the Space Stone or the Mind Stone or even the Reality Stone, sort of. They were still cool, right? They still had their effects, but I didn't really understand their power like I understood the Power Stone. No pun intended there. There's a pun there. This stone, it really shows, man. And it shows, you know, Star-Lord, just how powerful he is, at least in this film. I forgot this scene too. Seeing his face and his body just get torn apart in slow-mo. There's something very serious, something very dire about the whole thing. It's a heavy impact ending moment for a movie that was otherwise quite light. You know what I mean? It's like James Gunn knew how to take us up nice and light and us having fun, and he drops us really heavy with this stuff, reaching out to his dying mom, you know? Ronan the Accuser. Totally forgot to talk about him. Is he forgettable? I guess sort of, which is kind of weird because I actually like Ronan the Accuser. I think he's one of the better villains they've had, especially watching in timeline order. But I think his problem is that he's a little bit too straightforward. He's this zealot, you know, he's this super religious, super cultural zealot, you know. He's just this insane man who just wants to destroy other people because they're different from him. I mean, that's all there is. You don't really get to know anything else about him. And you don't need to. Isn't that interesting? I don't know. This is also the first movie you really get to see Thanos. I think you get to see him a little bit previously in the end credits, but this one you actually get to see him talk. It's great, but if you notice, he doesn't look quite the same as he did in Endgame. And then you have Nebula, Karen Gilliam. I keep forgetting that Nebula is a Scottish woman. She's so good at her role. She's one of my favorite MCU characters. I know, she's just so surly, you know, a little bit too naive, but fun, you know. overall, a very fun movie, an awesome ride. I think that's what makes this movie awesome. Is it feels like a roller coaster ride. It feels fun. Let me know what you think, and I'll talk to y'all later.